Claire, would you currently have a team preparing for apology number 11?
Oh, there's some people probably behind the scenes working out what the next mistake's going to be. But I think that's realistic, you know. If you're going to create a product that changes the world like Facebook, and then it evolves so quickly that it's ahead of legislation and it's often ahead of the very people that invented it in the first place, you're going to make mistakes and you're going to have to apologise. But ultimately, this is how the world evolves. And so as long as you're constantly learning and being willing and able to apologise, then you know, that's the way forward, I think.
It's interesting, Will. The market liked the apology. So when he was in Congress that day, 4.5% increase in the share price, 26 billion added to the valuation of Facebook. It's back to pre-Cambridge Analytica valuations. So, you know what? This business is quite incredible. It is changing the world. The way the whole world is wired, it's not just, of course, about Facebook. It's also Google and it's Amazon and it's Apple. And as a result, the world is changing and changing dramatically.
But he may have made it a lot harder for himself. The major criticism he got from a PR perspective is timing. He knew about it 3 years ago. But more importantly, when it was announced, he waited 7 days, didn't say anything, went quiet, went underground, which is a big no-no generally. $50 billion wiped off in 7 days because he hid. Now, it'll all bounce back, but his timing wasn't great.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that this idea that you've got to be quick, you know, so the PR advice, we've got to get out there, we've got to hit this on the head. Maybe it's different in this case.
I don't think there's ever an excuse for not saying something. I mean, even if it's a holding statement, that's like classic issues management. You don't just disappear and start panicking behind the scenes. You've got to get out and say something, even if it's kind of a no information saying something. You've got to acknowledge that there is a problem, you're listening and you're working on it.
One of the most interesting things about his Congress appearance is that he wasn't wearing his signature grey T-shirt, which is something he's talked about before.
Even making small decisions around what you wear or what you eat for breakfast or things like that, they kind of make you tired and consume your energy. And I'm in this really lucky position where I get to wake up every day and help serve more than 1 billion people, right? And I feel like I'm not doing my job if I spend any of my energy on things that are silly or frivolous about my life. It kind of sounds silly to, all right, that's my reason for wearing a grey T-shirt every day. It also is true.
It does sound silly.
Picking his tie for Congress must have been emotionally crippling. Todd, what's the power of a T-shirt to a personal brand?
Well, like it or not, what we wear brands us. And I was a little bit disappointed in how this played out. Not that he wears a $300 custom-made T-shirt that looks like he got it at Target. Not because of that. I was disappointed that he didn't show up in Congress with the T-shirt. So he's used a very obvious, well-known technique called mirroring. So if you want to persuade people, one of the best things to do is mirror them. Don't do it so everyone notices, but you sit as they sit. So in his case, he knew he was up against 80-year-olds in suits because the general rule is the costume of adults is suits, costume of teenagers is T-shirts. And so he knew that. And so
It's also the costume of midlife crisis.
Yes. Fair enough. So I think two things. I think he was, on the one hand, I think there's him mirroring and showing a seriousness of what's going on and where he is. And on the other hand, I think there's a bit of contrition.
But you know what? Respect is a really, really important thing in all transactions in life. And he is just demonstrating respect.
I think it's simpler than that. The suit hides the sweat. T-shirt, mom. Not good.
Nice.
Makes a lot of sense. That's why I wear one for this show. There's a puddle under the desk. Every year, Zuckerberg sets a personal goal. Here's what he did in 2016.
Morning, Jarvis.
Good morning, Mark. It's Saturday, so you only have 5 meetings. Room temperature is set to a cool 68 degrees.
Earlier this year, I started building a simple AI to help run our home. I talked to Jarvis using this app I built. It uses artificial intelligence to understand me and figure out what to do.
Max woke up a few minutes ago. I'm entertaining her.
All right, let's go check on her.
Good morning, Max. Let's practice our Mandarin.
Jarvis, your Mandarin is so soothing.
谢谢。